Today at ShopDAP.com, we're going to be going over installing a battery and programming it on an Audi S4. Okay, so installing a battery. We're going to go over the installation process, but most importantly, we're going to be going over programming. Now, why would you want to program your battery? Because your alternator varies the output based on the age of the battery. So, if you do not program your battery and you replace it with a new one and the original one was very degraded, you could end up killing your new battery by overcharging it, and then you'll have a problem. You have to buy another battery. You also could kill your alternator. Let's go show you where the battery is. It's in your trunk. Now, you wouldn't jump the car from the back, you jump it from the front, which you'd have to pop your hood. The door's got to be open to pop the hood though, so I can't do it this way. Now, most Audis have batteries in the cowl here. Now, this car doesn't have one in the cowl. Again, it's in the trunk, but your jump post is here. So you're gonna pull off this cover, which just pops up, and you'll see this positive battery jump point right here, which you pop the cover up like this, and your access points right here. I know this looks to be really busy. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but this is the post you would jump off of right here. So to jump your car, you would put the positive over here and your negative would go right here, and this is intended to be a jump point that's located right on top of the driver's side shock mount here. Now, your battery is located beneath your spare tire here. Obviously, we have the trunk lifted up here. You just spin this off and pull out a spare tire. Also, at this point, it's probably worthwhile to check your tire pressure on your spare because it's almost always low, and when you go to use it, it's flat. And next, we're just going to lift this cover up. Oh, I got a chapstick that's fallen in there. And you can see your battery. Now, the next thing you want to do is lift up these tools and move them out of the way. Now, this right here is a bracket that covers it for the spare tire stuff. Over here is the ECM, and we have to remove this to actually get the battery out of place. There's two 13 millimeters at the front, and then there's two in the back here. But this bracket that holds the ECM is in the way, so we actually have to pull up on this tab to move the ECM out of the way. Now, to release that, you're going to pull up on this tab, and then you can rotate this ECM, rotate that up and out of place, and then move it out of the way, like that. Okay, so we have to get this bracket up and out of the place. So there's a tab here and a tab on the other side here. You wrap your fingers around from the back side, you push towards the rear of the car, and then you can slide this up like that, up and out. Now in the rear, we have the two 13 millimeters that are down there, right there, and we're gonna remove those. We got those two back there, and now do the two in the front. And you can just pick this up now. Now, on top of this battery, you have this cover. You can just kind of pull it forward. It just snaps around the edges of the battery and pull that off. And then this is just another cover, which is also clipped on from the side. To expose, you have two 10 millimeters here and here. These are going to be removed, and then you swap out your battery, and you will have to remove this 13 millimeter at the bottom here to actually get it out of the car physically. Like that. And now, you can swap your battery out. Start with the negative, loosen your 10 millimeter, take your positive off, then take the terminals off, pull the battery out of the car. Once we've reinstalled our battery, we are then going to go in the car and program. One note you do want to make sure is when you're installing your new terminals on the battery, those 10 millimeters, if you over tighten them, they will snap right off. So do not over tighten them. That can be a problem if you do so. Let's go reprogram. Important note when you're programming your battery, there's information on the new battery you need to make sure you have. So we're going to show you where it is, and that's going to be this right here. Now, you want to take a picture of this so you have all of this information available to you when you actually go to program your battery. So you can reprogram your battery with a multitude of ways. This is going to vary by car. So what we're showing you is specific to these cars, and we're going to be using OBDeleven, which is right here, or you can also use VAGCOM, which we have on this laptop here. So VAGCOM has a DIY on their side. We're going to show you today with an OBDeleven device to actually the reprogramming process here. Link in the description below to the OBDeleven so you can purchase it if you need to do the programming that we're about to show you. So we're going to scroll down in our list of control modules down to Gateway. Now inside of Gateway, you're going to go to long adaptation, and then you're going to go into channel 04. Now at the top of our channel here, we're going to see it says value, and you can see there's a part number. there's a vendor code, and then there's a serial number for the battery. This is what you're going to be changing to that picture you took of the battery itself. So you can see the part number is listed right here, and we'll take a screenshot of the battery to show you the part of that label that is exactly what we're talking about. Then your 3 digits is going to be a vendor code, and that's going to be your next 3, and we'll show you right here where you can see this is the vendor code located on that label. And lastly, you're going to have the serial number here. Now, again, these are all specific to the number of digits that you need for this. If you fill this out wrong, it's not going to function properly. So we're going to fill that out, and you can take a look here. So the important thing to note is you have to have spaces between all this stuff. 1 space in between each one. You have to have the correct amount of characters or it will not work. So because I've already programmed this car when I replaced the battery originally, I'm just going to change the last digit from a 90 to a 91, just so that we can show you the process of what it's going to look like when we actually physically program this thing. And you saw I hit the test button, it said success, and now we've programmed our battery. And we're going to slide that to right, and it's all set. We're done. One thing to note, if you're not using a VW Audi battery, you're not going to have a serial number that looks like that, and you may have to actually recreate some version that the vehicle will accept. So if that is the case, I believe, I haven't tested this theory, but if you're using a non-VW battery that doesn't have a serial number like that, you should be able to duplicate some version of that to allow the car to accept it, and then trigger the fact that it has a new battery in the car. That is going to be a lot of people who are not going to be buying a factory battery when they're doing this. Make sure you have the right amperage and that type of stuff. Other than that, a factory battery isn't going to be necessarily required, but it will be required to make sure you have the right information to program your car. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering, what's going to happen if I don't code my battery? So I talked to an Audi tech just to get a clear picture of what they see, because they're going to see a lot of cars with dead batteries all the time. He said he's seen batteries die in as little as 2 to 3 months after getting a new battery replacement. That's going to be what could be possible. Now, a lot of people are going to have a circumstance where you may have never had an issue, you never program your battery, and that depends on the degradation of the battery before it gets replaced. Remember, coding the battery is basically triggering the car to say, okay, we're setting back at 0, we have a new battery. That's going to be something that you don't have to worry about if your battery wasn't severely degraded, because it hasn't ramped up the alternator charging to compensate for the battery degradation. So it's really important to note that that could be a major issue if you don't program your battery. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more like it.